Reflections 8.2, we're on page 445. Okay, so we've already talked about how transformations is the whole group of things. We talked about translations, and all you do is slide things around. Now we're going to talk about reflections, and that's a mirror image. Okay, on the other things we were talking about flipping something. Okay, it's the result of a transformation of a figure across a line called the line of reflection. When reflecting a figure, each point of the pre-image and its image are the same distance from the line of reflection. That was horrible. There we go. The image and the pre-image are congruent. Okay, so when it tells you that you're going to reflect over the x-axis, remember that this is your x-axis. Okay? If I look at z is 1, 2, 3 away from the x-axis. So when we reflect it over, we also have to have 1, 2, 3. Y is 1, 2, 3. So across the y or the x-axis also has to be 3. 1, 2, 3. And now if we were doing our x, which is all the way up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And no, you don't have to make these little lines. I'm doing that so you can just see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's the same distance away. If we were doing the y-axis, this point is 1, 2, 3. This point is 1, 2, 3. I should have started at x. Z is 1, 2 away, so z prime is 1, 2 away. Y is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. Okay? Now, before we do this, I want you to remember that when x equals a number, that this is going to be a vertical line. When y equals a number, you are going to have a horizontal line. Okay? So when I'm looking at this right here, it says you can also reflect a figure across our other lines. The reflection of triangle XYZ across y equals 2. So I went to when y equals 2 right here, and they drew a horizontal line. And you can still do this. Z is 1 away, z prime is 1 away. Y is 1 away, y prime is 1 away. Z is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Okay? So we're going to look at this right here. It says we have triangle ABC. Then it says graph the image of ABC after the reflection across the x-axis. So remember, the x-axis is here. Okay? So C, that's 1 away. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to plot a point. C prime. A is 1, 2 away. So I'm going to come down here, 1, 2 away. And we do A prime. Again, you do not need those little things I'm making. 1, 2, 3 away. So 1, 2, 3 away. And we have B prime. So then I connect the dots. And now I have triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay. So now what it wants us to do is write down what the coordinates were. So if I look up here at A prime is over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down to 5. And we're at -2. Then B is over 1 and then down 1, 2, 3. 1, negative 3. And then C prime is at negative 1, negative 1. So I want you to look at these and look at what happens on this. Let's compare our x values. So if I look at my x values, look at that. They're exactly the same. If I look at my y values, however, look at those. The y values are opposite. Okay, so y is opposite. And that is when you go over the x-axis. So over the x-axis, your y value is going to be the opposite. Okay, so I'm going to look here. So I need to plot the point P, or the triangle PQR. So P is going to be 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I plot P. And then 3, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And that's Q. And then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1. And that's the point R. So I'm now going to connect the dots. Okay, well, that's a little bit off, isn't it? Give me just a second. This R is not quite where it needed to be. There we go, that's better. There we are. Now, it says that we're going to do a reflection across the y-axis. So we're going to do a reflection across the y-axis. Okay, and when I do that, P is 1 away. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to. So that means P prime is here. Q is 3 away. So 1, 2, 3. That's Q prime. And R is 4 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. R prime. And there we go. Okay. So our P to start off with was 1, 5. Oh, I should be doing this. Q, sorry about that, 3, 7. And R is 4, negative 1. So now I want to do my P prime, and I'm going to get that P prime is negative 1, 5. I'm going to get Q prime is negative 3, 7. And R prime, oops, I forgot the prime, is negative 4, negative 1. Now if I look at these and I compare them, if I compare the x values, notice the, oh, I should have done a different, that's okay. Nope, I need to, x values are opposite with a reflection over the y-axis. Okay. So this one says that we're going to graph this, and then we need to go to x equals 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that means this line right here. Okay. I know it's not perfect. Sorry about that. Well, I guess I could undo it. See if I can get it more on the perfect side. There we go. That looks better. Okay. So now we're going to do the exact same thing. E is 1 away. So I do E prime here. G is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. So that's G prime. F is 1, 2, 3, so 1, 2, 3. So F prime is here. And there we have it. Okay. So if I'm going to actually, let me just do it up here. We're going to do E. It was at 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. F was at 0, -2. And then G is at 1, 2, 3, -3, 2. And then E prime was at 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. F prime is at 6, -2. And G prime is at, say, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 2. Okay, so this one isn't as easy to see what happened. It's not as easy to see. But what we can look at is we can look at the fact that the Y values stayed exactly the same. Okay? The Y values stayed exactly the same. Okay, so we're going to come down here. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go -3, -3. We have A. And then we have -1, 2, 3, 4. -5. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have C. Okay, so then it says to reflect the image across y equals -2. So y equals -2 is going to be right here. So we're going to do the same thing. A is 1 away, so A prime is going to be 1 away. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Before I do anything else, A is -3, -3. B is -1, -5. C is 1, -4. And then A prime is going to be -3, -1. And then we're going to do B, and B is 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. So that's the point. Sorry, that's the point. -1, 1. And then C prime is 2 away. So 2 away is right here for C prime. So that's the point 1, 0. And there you have it. And again, on this one, the X values stayed the same. Okay. So, when we reflect over the x-axis, remember when you reflect over the x-axis, the x stays the same. then the y is the opposite. Okay? So, if I look at A prime is down here, it's -2. Does that correspond with what we just said about y's being the opposite? Yes. B prime is at -1, -2, -3, -4. Are these the opposites? They are. C is at -1. Are these the opposites? They are the opposites. Okay? So the coordinate notation is that when it goes over the x-axis, the x stays the same and the y is opposite. Okay. Now, if it goes over the y-axis, then the y is the same and the x is the opposite. Okay, let's prove it. Okay, so looking right here, A prime is at -1. Is that the opposite of the x value? It is. B is going to be, B prime is at -2. Is that the opposite? It is the opposite. C prime, is at 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. That is the opposite also. So we start with our notation, coordinate notation. We start with the pre-image, and it goes to where the x is its opposite and the y stays the same. And that's when we go over the x-axis. Okay? So, this says that it's over the x-axis. So that means that we have this, the x stays the same, and the y is the opposite. Okay? The x stays the same, the y coordinate will be the image, it will be the opposite. So, x's are all the same. So 2, -1, -2. The y values are the opposite. So -1, -3, 0. Okay? So down here, we have the quadrilateral ABCD has these coordinates, is reflected over the y-axis. So we're going to write the coordinate notation. So remember, coordinate notation. If it goes over the y-axis, the y stays the same and the x is opposite. So, A prime. So our x value is opposite. So the opposite of -2 is 2, and the y stays the same. B prime. The x is the opposite, so -1, the y stays the same. C. The x is the opposite, so 1, the y stays the same. Oops, that's prime. And D prime. The x is the opposite, and the y stays the same. Okay. Describe the reflection. Okay, so if I look at this, if I look at my x's, let's look at x's. The x's stay exactly the same. The y is the opposite. So x stays the same, so the x is the same and the y is opposite. So there we go. So that means it's over the x-axis. So on this one, we know it's going to be x to y. So the x's are the same, x's are the same, x's are the same. The y values are opposite. So that means it's reflected over the x-axis. Okay, awesome.